Hello boys and girls, a very good evening and welcome to this live session on reasoning ability. Today we are going to look at some questions from reasoning ability. Right now reasoning, in both SBI PO and SBI Junior Associates Prelims exam is going to carry a weightage of 35 marks. There will be 35 questions and you'll just have 20 minutes of time. Now the biggest challenge here is 20 minutes versus 35 questions. You have to maximize your score. Or even bigger challenge is that there is no standard formula to get the answer, like in case of quantitative aptitude, numerical ability, right? In reasoning ability, every question is different. You solve 100 puzzles, the 101st puzzle may be completely different, right? You solve 100 questions on coding and decoding, or for that matter, 1,000 questions on coding and decoding. Do you perfect that? No. You may not be able to solve the next 100 questions from coding and decoding. So, it's different. It's logic based. There's a logic behind every question, right? There's a way to solve it. And these are time-consuming questions. So for this particular section of your exam, the reasoning ability section of your exam, you should try and, get that knack of choosing the questions wisely. I'll tell you where most of the students fail. Not because they're not able to solve the questions. That's the problem with all of us, right? Even if I go for the exam today, I'll not be able to solve all the questions because I'm seeing that puzzle for the first time. Just because I've solved 1,000 puzzles, doesn't mean that I'll be able to solve every puzzle there, right? The intelligence lies in picking up the question wisely, right? You should be able to analyze and choose the easier ones because every question carries the same weightage. So why waste your time on difficult ones or time-consuming ones? So have that as a focus when it comes to reasoning ability. Remember, there is no standard method. There is an approach that all of us can follow. Like for a circular arrangement question, there's an approach that we have for people facing center, people facing outwards, etc. But there cannot be a standard method or a technique which can give you the answer. You may or may not get the answer. So keep that in mind, right? Don't get disappointed if you're not able to solve questions from reasoning ability. Okay, but choose your questions wisely and solve the easier ones first. Chalo, so let's get started. I think I've spoken enough in general for this exam. I hope all of you are able to follow me and I hope most of you agree with me. Those who not will learn in due course of time, but continue your preparation, right? Leave no stone unturned. Let me present these questions to you all, right? It's a mix of, moderate, difficult and easy questions. So we'll pick up, variety of questions from different topics like arrangements and, coded inequalities. Then we have syllogisms, linear arrangements, blood relations, etc. Let's get started. I think the first question that I would like to take up is a puzzle on circular table-based puzzle, right? A circular arrangement, basically. I'll present this to you all, give you about 5 minutes to try it, and then discuss the solution. So here we go. The first question is on your screens now. See what it says. 8 persons, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H are sitting around a circular table facing the center. They belong to different cities among Patna, Raipur, Lucknow, Mysore, Jaipur, Delhi, Patiala, and Gurgaon, but not necessarily in the same order. They also read different magazines among India Today, Chronicle, and Times. At least 2 persons read one magazine. So I think the only thing to figure out here is there are 3 attributes, or rather 2 attributes. There are 8 persons, and each person is has got 2 attributes. One is city that he belongs to and the magazine that he reads. So the game starts now. Let's see how many of you get it right. So let's look at the solution now. Let's try it out now, right? Here we go. So here's the question. This was asked in the All India Mock exam, All India Mock SBI PO exam conducted by TalentSprint on last weekend. See what it says. 8 persons, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H are sitting around a circular table facing the center. They belong to different cities among Patna, Raipur, Lucknow, Mysore, Jaipur, Delhi, Patiala, and Gurgaon. Right? These are the different cities that we have, but not necessarily in the same order. They also read 3 different magazines: India Today, Chronicle, and Times. At least 2 persons read one magazine. So you've got a total of 8 persons. At least 2 people read each magazine. So there will be 2 each in India Today, Chronicle, and Times, which means 6 are already allocated, and the other 2 maybe choosing, one each of these 3 magazines, or both of them can be for one of the magazines. You understand? The minimum in each magazine will be 2. The maximum can be 4, right? And then we have a lot of clues given here. Only D and E read India Today, and D sits third to the right of E. A is from Jaipur and reads Chronicle and sits on the immediate right of E, and so on. So let's try it out now, right? I need some space here. Yeah. So here we go. So the first step is to consider a circular table with 8 seats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember, all of them are sitting around the circular table facing the center. Now, what is the importance of this, significance of this? When a person is facing the center, left is always clockwise and right is anti-clockwise. Okay. And during the course of solving the problem, we find multiple possibilities. We may consider more circular tables. So here we go. The first point, only D and E read India Today. So if you try to categorize based on the magazines here, India Today is one, right? Then we have Chronicle and we have Times, right? So very clearly the first statement says only D and E. There are only 2 people who read India Today, right? So D and E read India Today, and there are only 2. So this magazine is fixed now. It is read by D and E, right? Now, the next part says, and D sits third to the right of E. D sits third to the right of E. So let's assume E sits here. D sits third to the right of E. Right will be anti-clockwise. So first, second, and third. D would come here. Next, A is from Jaipur and reads Chronicle. So A reads Chronicle, right? Who else reads Chronicle? We do not know. So A is from Jaipur, reads Chronicle, and sits on the immediate right of E. Immediate right of E is this. So A comes here, and he is from Jaipur, right? And he reads Chronicle. So we have got the attributes of A, Jaipur and Chronicle. So this part is also done, right? Then F is from Mysore and reads Times. F is from Mysore and he reads Times. So F we can put here, and remember F is from Mysore. Okay. Who else reads Times? We do not know. H reads the same magazine as G. H reads the same magazine as G. Now, here's the point. We already know that India Today is closed. H reads the same magazine as G means H and G will be together in terms of the magazine there. Now, both of them can come for Chronicle or both of them may come for Times. You know, there are 2 possibilities. So I would just try to kind of write it pictorially here that H and G will together be reading either Chronicle or Times. Right? So if they are reading Chronicle, then A, H, G read Chronicle. If they read Times, then F, H, G read Times. Okay? So this is not very clear as of now, but we will try to fit it at later point in time. Next statement, G is third to the left of F. G is third to the left of F. G is third to the left of F. Now, 3 persons have already been marked on this circular table. The statement that we have is G is third to the left of F. Neither G nor F have been considered on this arrangement so far. So you can give a shot and find out what are the possibilities for G and F here. Right? G is third to the left of F. For example, let's assume F comes here. If F comes here, where should G come? He's third to the left of F. So first, second, third, G would come in this position. So that's one possibility, which means if F comes here, G may come here. I'm not writing it outside because it's not confirmed yet, right? So F and G, this is one possibility. F may take this position. If F comes here, where would G come? First, second, third. But that's not possible because this is already blocked by D. So G cannot come here, which means F cannot come here. Can F come here? Yes. If F comes here, first, second, third, G has to come here. We have already got 2 possibilities for F and G here. So to distinguish, what I would do is I'll make it F1, G1, F2, G2. So if F is in F1, then G will be in G1. If F is in F2, then G will be in G2. Is there any other possibility? Maybe F cannot come here because it's already blocked by D. Can F come here? Yes. If F comes here, where should G come? First, second, and third. So which means this can be F3, and this can be G3. You understand? So we have marked F and G. See, instead of considering 3 different possibilities, drawing 3 different diagrams again, duplicating D, A, E, and then considering different positions of F and G, we just try to mark it here. I know it looks a little clumsy, but if you're clear about what you have put there, you should be able to fix it. So F1, G1 is one set, F2, G2 is the other set, F3, G3 is the third set. Okay, we'll find out which is correct in some time. Now, B sits opposite to the person who is from Gurgaon. B sits opposite to the person who's from Gurgaon. So B we do not have here, but we can just write down saying B is opposite to Gurgaon. Again, you should be clear about your convention that you follow here. This double-headed arrow for me indicates B is opposite to Gurgaon, not that B belongs to Gurgaon. If B is from Gurgaon, I put a single arrow. It's a double-headed arrow. So my understanding is B is opposite to Gurgaon. Now, what is the importance of writing it like this? I will not go and read that statement again. Next statement, C sits exactly opposite to the person who belongs to Patna. So similar to what we have got earlier, now C is opposite to Patna. Now don't get confused between opposite and exactly opposite. Both are one and the same, right? I mean, B sits opposite to the person who's from Gurgaon. C is exactly opposite to the person from Patna. Means the same. Yeah. The persons who belong to Delhi and Lucknow read Chronicle. Persons belonging to Delhi and Lucknow read Chronicle. Persons who belong to Delhi and Lucknow read Chronicle. So Delhi and Lucknow are going to come for Chronicle, right? Delhi and Lucknow are going to come for Chronicle. Two of them are going to come for Chronicle. The third person can also be there. Next, G is from Gurgaon. G is from Gurgaon. G is from Gurgaon. Now try and look at it. See, we already have Gurgaon fixed here. We know that B is opposite to Gurgaon. Now he says G is from Gurgaon. So can you say B is opposite to G? And G is from Gurgaon. You're getting it? What we know now is G is from Gurgaon. What we already knew is B is opposite to Gurgaon. So which means B is opposite to G because G is the one who's in Gurgaon. And we already have got three possibilities of G here. G1, G2, G3. So find out if we can eliminate some cases. For example, if we take G1, we know that B and G should be opposite. So if it is G here in place of G1, then opposite should be B. But is it possible? Not possible. Why? Because here E is already seated. So G1 is ruled out. If G1 is ruled out, F1 is ruled out. See, out of 3 we have already eliminated one case. Try something else. Can G be G3? If you take G in place of G3, opposite should be B because G and B are opposite. But here we have D in the opposite place. So G cannot come in place of G3, which means G3 is wrong, which also means F3 is wrong. Now there is only one possibility, F2 and G2. So fix it. F comes here in F2. F comes here. So where would G come? G would come here because G was third to the left of F, right? First, second, and third. And now we know G is opposite to B. So B has to come here. And we know G is from Gurgaon. So Gurgaon would come here. G reads which newspaper? We do not know. We have not fixed that yet, right? So see, so much is done now. F, G, and B are fixed, right? C is opposite to Patna. C is opposite to Patna. See, if you observe, 6 persons have been fixed already. A, B, D, E, F, G. C and H are left out. So C, H will take these 2 positions, right? C, H. So either C here or H, and accordingly H or C in this case. You getting it? So largely done with respect to persons, largely done. So wherever C comes, opposite would be Patna. If C is here, then H would be from Patna. If C is here, H would be from Patna. If C is in this place, yeah. So sorry, I think not. If C is here, then D would be from Patna. Opposite, right? If C, let's say, is in this position, opposite is D. D would be from Patna. If C is in this place, then E would be from Patna. You getting it? So I would take this particular point because we have already fixed it. B opposite to Gurgaon and G is fixed. Next statement. B is from Lucknow. B is from Lucknow. Good. So fix it. B is from Lucknow. One more piece is done. B is from Lucknow. I think we already had something else about Lucknow. Delhi and Lucknow. Okay, B is from Lucknow. You see? If B is from Lucknow and the Lucknow guys read Chronicle, so B also comes here. Yes or no? We already knew that Lucknow guy reads Chronicle. Now we know that B is from Lucknow. So can you say B reads Chronicle? Yes. So 2 persons have already come for Chronicle. Next statement. The persons who read Chronicle do not sit adjacent to each other. The persons who read Chronicle do not sit adjacent to each other. Okay, by the way, B reads Chronicle, I can fix it. So no, we know B reads Chronicle. So B is from Lucknow and B reads Chronicle. Yeah. Now look at this statement. The persons who read Chronicle do not sit adjacent to each other. See, B reads Chronicle. B reads Chronicle, which means his adjacent neighbors will not be reading Chronicle. F does not read Chronicle. F does not read Chronicle. Yes, F already we know reads Times. Achha, by the way, F is from Mysore and he reads Times, we know, right? So we can fix it. F is from Mysore and he reads Times. Okay, so that is clear. Now this person also will not read Chronicle. Who? C or H. Whoever comes here will not be reading Chronicle because adjacent people will not be reading Chronicle. Similarly, since A is from Chronicle, I mean A reads Chronicle. See the statement here. The persons who read Chronicle do not sit adjacent to each other. Since A reads Chronicle, can you say G does not read Chronicle? And E also does not read Chronicle? E, by the way, we know reads India Today. Why don't we fix it? We know E reads Today. And who else it? D also reads Today. Let's fix it, no? D reads Today. India Today. Yeah? D and E reads today. Yeah. So adjacent will not be chronicle, which means if this is chronicle, E cannot be chronicle. Yes, E is already reading India today. G also cannot be chronicle. See, observe now. G is not in chronicle. G does not come in chronicle. If G does not come in chronicle, then G comes for Times of India. I mean, whatever that is, Times magazine. If G does not read chronicle, India today is already closed. 2 people. So G has to come for Times. If G comes for Times, then H also will come for Times. Yes or no? Because H and G we had marked earlier, we'll be reading the same magazine. So we now know that F, G and H read Times magazine. So let's fix it for them. There could be a 4th person reading Times magazine, but as of now, F, G and H are the 3 guys who read Times. So F reads Times, that is already done. G reads Times. And H, wherever it comes, will read Times. Alright. Next statement. The one who's from Patiala does not read Chronicle or India Today. The one who's from Patiala does not read Chronicle or India Today. Okay. So we cannot use this statement immediately, right? The one who's from Patiala does not read Chronicle or India Today. H is not from Delhi. H is not from Delhi. So how do we make use of these 2 statements? Just hold on. Let me look at what more can be done here. So if you look at it in terms of cities, we have fixed Mysore for F, we have fixed Lucknow for B, we have fixed Jaipur for A, we have fixed Gurgaon for G. What is left out is Patna, Raipur, Delhi and Patiala, right? So how do we fix now? So the question now is, in terms of magazines, if you see A, B, D, E, F, G, H are fixed, the only person left out is C. So we have to find out if C reads Chronicle or Times. Does C read Chronicle or Times? Okay, I think I can conclude that C reads Chronicle. You're able to follow? In terms of magazines, we have already fixed A, B, D, E, F, G, H. The question is, where will C go? Will C be reading Chronicle or Times? It cannot read India Today because that is played log, but which of these? I'll tell you why. See, we already know that A and B read Chronicle. And I know that A is from Jaipur. So the guys or the cities which reads Chronicle are Jaipur, Delhi and Lucknow, which means there are 3 people reading Chronicle because there are 3 cities associated with Chronicle. A, who's from Jaipur, and then we know Delhi and Lucknow guys read Chronicle. And B is from Lucknow. So obviously the 3rd guy should be C. Yes or no? So C reads Chronicle. So in terms of magazines, it's fixed now. C reads Chronicle. And since A belongs to Jaipur, B belongs to Lucknow, C has to be from Delhi. Yes or no? So C is from Delhi. Fix it. C is from Delhi. C is from Delhi, that is fixed. Now, where will C come? Can C come here or here? I would say C would come in this place, in the top place. C cannot come here. Because if C comes here, then B who reads Chronicle and C who reads Chronicle both become together. But we know that people reading Chronicle do not sit adjacent to each other. So C cannot come here. C cannot come here. Because then Chronicle would be adjacent. C has to come in the top position. I mean, C here and H here. We already knew that, right? C and H. And C is from which place? Delhi. C is from Delhi. And he reads what? Chronicle. So I think magazines are all done. Right? We can fix the magazines for others as well. Like H reads Times. H reads Times. Yeah. So magazines are all done. We have to just find out 3 more cities. Delhi is fixed. We have to find 3 more cities. Now what do we know? The C is opposite to Patna. See, this point has not been used yet. C is opposite to Patna. So C is here. Opposite guy E should be from Patna. So E is from Patna. Right? So Patna is also logged. What is left out now? Patiala and Raipur. There's one statement given about Patiala here. The one who's from Patiala does not read Chronicle or India Today. Patiala. Now who can be from Patiala? Either D or H. But we know that the Patiala guy does not read Chronicle or India Today. See, since D reads India Today, D cannot be from Patiala. So it has to be H who's from Patiala. So no, he neither reads Chronicle nor India Today. So H is from Patiala. And if H is from Patiala, we can conclude that D is from Raipur. D is from Raipur. Yes, done. And if you observe in all this process, we have not used this statement, H is not from Delhi. So this is an extra information given to me, which I have not used at all, which means we were able to solve the puzzle with 1 point less. I mean, one piece of information less. So this completes the arrangement. What you see here is a final arrangement, right? Let me just clean it up so that you can follow it neatly. So without trying multiple possibilities in just one arrangement, we were able to fix all these 8 persons and get their attributes. Yeah. So quickly, starting from the bottom position here, E, H, B, F, C, D, G, A is the order. The order of cities is Patna, Patiala, Lucknow, Mysore, Delhi, Raipur, Gurgaon and Jaipur. And order of magazines is India Today, Times, Chronicle, Times, Chronicle, India Today, Times and Chronicle. So this is the final arrangement. Yeah, let's quickly look at the questions now. I'm sure questions have been asked along with this. What are the questions? Which of the following groups read Times Magazine? Which group reads Times Magazine? Times Magazine is FGH. Yes or no? FGH. Find out FGH, first option itself. E belongs to which of the following cities? E belongs to which city? E is from Patna. E is from Patna, option 3. Which of the following combinations is true? G Chronicle Gurgaon. G Chronicle Gurgaon. G Gurgaon is fine, but it's not Chronicle. So first one is wrong. C Times Raipur. No, C is from Delhi. So C Times Raipur is wrong. D India Today Patna. D India Today is fine, but D is not from Patna. So that is wrong. First option, second option, third option are wrong. So I can say which of the following combinations is true? None is true. None of these is true. Option 4 can be the answer, right? Option 4 can be the answer. See, be clear now. None is true, none of these. Which one do you want to choose? When you say none of these, you're saying this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this also is wrong. The answer is something else. But actually, fourth option is correct, right? None of this is true. None of these 3 are true. So fourth option we can say. Which of the following statements are true? G is from Gurgaon and reads Chronicle. G is from Gurgaon and reads Chronicle. No, that's wrong. C is from Delhi and reads Chronicle. C Delhi Chronicle. Yes, C Delhi Chronicle is correct. So 2 is definitely correct. Let's check the other ones as well. F does not read Times. No, F reads Times. So third one is wrong. H belongs to Raipur and reads India Today. H belongs to Raipur. No, that's also wrong. So I think the only correct statement here is C. C is from Delhi and reads Chronicle. And the next point here. Who among the following is from Raipur? Who among the following is from Raipur? Who's from Raipur? Raipur is D. D and the one who reads India Today. So the one who reads Times? No. D, yes. Yes. So answer is D here, option 2. Who's from Raipur? D is from Raipur. So these are the 5 questions. Anyways, as always, answering the 5 questions is, a cakewalk. What requires intelligence is getting the arrangement done there. So while it looked like a complex one, I mean, at least 2 attributes, it's not very simple, but we could do it in just 1 attempt and in 1 possibility. Yeah. So that's the solution. I hope all of you have followed it. The intelligence lies in reading in between the statements. There are hidden clues given there. So that's what you need to pick up and fill the gaps, right? What is directly given can be filled, can be fixed. But how do you fill the gaps is the point here, right? And it's always good to read the statements and make small pictures out of it, right? Make pictorial representations of the given statements so that it becomes easier to fit those pictures in the diagram there. You may have your own convention for that. All right. Let's move to the next question. I think we have one on blood arrangements. Not blood arrangements. It's called blood relations, right? Blood relations is a topic, and it's a combination of blood relation puzzle with the ranking puzzle. You have to rank them based on their heights, or ordering. Basically, you have to order them in the sequence of their height. So I'll present this to you, give you about maybe 2 to 3 minutes. It's a simple one. Let's see how many of you get it correct. All right. So as expected, this one seems to have been an easy one. Looks like Many of you have done it already. Shankar Rao, Murli, Alekhya, Neeraj, and I hope others have also got close to the solution. Let's quickly discuss this. Here we go. Look at it. It says B and R are granddaughters of G, who is the father of P. J has only 2 sons. Q is the only sister-in-law of H. B is not taller than R. Now, when you read the statement, you kind of get a surprise that, suddenly he's talking about heights. So this clearly is a combination of blood relations. You can see granddaughters, fathers, sons, etc., sister-in-law and all. And then it comes about ordering, right? B is not taller than R. Q is shorter than 3 persons, but taller than her daughters, right? No male is shorter than females, and so on. H is shorter than his brother and father. There are 2 married couples in the family. This is very, very important, right? There are 2 married couples in the family. The one who is the oldest in the family is the tallest. R is not taller than her grandmother. So it's very important while answering questions from reasoning to, get a sense of what you have to do in the first reading. Right now, I know that there are 2 things that I have to solve here. One is the family tree. You have to link people here. I think the names are B, R, G, P, Q, H. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, J here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 persons here, right? And then also find out the hidden, like for example, when he says B and R are granddaughters, it's obvious that B is female, R is female. Granddaughters of G, but is G male or female? We do not know. B and R are granddaughters of G. G can be grandfather or grandmother. Both are possible. But then the moment you read the next part of the sentence, it says who is the father of P? Who here refers to G. G is the father of P. B and R are granddaughters of G. G is the father of P. So G is male. Now what about P? No idea. P can be male or female. Right? Moving on, J has only 2 sons. Now because J has 2 sons does not mean J is father. J could be mother also. We usually have this, this is a problem. When generally we say A is the father of B, the immediate reaction is B is the son of A. But it need not be the case. B can also be the daughter of A. So be careful. Don't solve these questions in a hurry, right? Only when you are sure, mark it. So here, J has only 2 sons. I do not know the gender of A. I do not know the gender of A. Q is the only sister-in-law. Obviously, Q is female. Only sister-in-law of H. Now, is H male or female? No idea. B is not taller than R. Fine. Q is shorter than 3 persons, but taller than her daughters. Her here refers to Q, so that indicates that Q is female. I mean, we have already established that Q is female because of the sister-in-law mentioned here. But even if this statement was not given, you should be able to use these pronouns like her, his, and so on to, establish the gender. Q is shorter than 3 persons, but taller than her daughters. So Q is a female. Now, how do you do this? I think, try to draw a free diagram first. Like, for example, B and R are granddaughters of G. I would say B and R are in the 3rd generation, granddaughter. So they have somebody here, the parent, and that parent's father is G. Right? G is in the 1st generation. Right? So B and R are granddaughters of G. Somebody in between. Who's that person? We do not know. Right? So G is the father of this person, and B and R. And B and R are siblings. Let's assume. I mean, again, need not be siblings. They can also be from different parents. So let's not fix that immediately. B and R are granddaughters of G. But yeah, they are linked. I mean, even if they are not siblings, they are cousins. Right? So that's the idea. So this is the first part of the sentence, which is done. Right? Now read the next part. Who's the father of P? Who's the father of P? Okay, G is the father of P. Now, G is the father of P. So the question is P the father of B and R? Or parent of B and R? G is the father of B. G is the father of P is fine. But is P going to come here or in some other box? I mean, it could be here or it could be the sibling of this person. It does not mean that G has only one child, right? If G has only one child, then obviously P has to come here. But that's not given yet, whether G has only one child or more than one child. So we do not know that yet. But we can, maybe if you want to just take a chance and move forward, you can put P here. Or if you want to consider 2 possible cases, you can put P in one case here. In the other case, you can take P being the neighbor, not neighbor, what is that called? Cousin of, sibling of this person. You're able to follow? P can be this person or this person's sibling. What's the difference? If P is this person, he becomes the father of, parent of B and R. If P is this person, then he is the uncle or aunt of B and R. J has only 2 sons. Now, where is J? We do not know. J has only 2 sons, it says. Yeah. Definitely J cannot be this parent or this parent's spouse, because these two are daughters, right? J has only two sons. J has only two sons. Q is the only sister-in-law of H. Q is the only sister-in-law of H. So if I take only the elements of blood relations here, J has only two sons we have. Q is the only sister-in-law of H we have. And then we have that there are two married couples in the family. Yeah. And R is not taller than her grandmother. So another thing that I want you to understand is, so far we have established that G is the grandfather. But since it says R is not taller than grandmother, I know that there is a grandmother as well. There is a grandmother as well, which means definitely G is married. Who's the wife, we do not know, but G is married because grandmother's mention is there. Now, if you try to look at the statements here, I can safely assume that J is that grandmother. Because J has two sons, we know that J cannot come in second generation, because if J is in second generation, he should have two sons. We already have only two daughters in the third generation. I mean, if J comes in the second generation, his two sons will be in the third generation. But in the third generation, we already have two persons, and both of which are daughters. Which means two more persons have to come, and both of them have to be sons of J. So 2 plus 2, 4. Then 5, 6. I mean, this person who comes here, J is the 6th person, G is the 7th person, and then G is married to somebody 8th person. But we know the total count is only 7. You understand? All these lead to a conclusion that J can be the grandmother. And the grandmother there has two sons, which means G also has two sons. G and J, the husband and wife couple, have two sons. One of those sons is P. So for now, I'm assuming that P is the son here who comes here. Right? Keep in mind, it can be wrong also. P can be the other son as well. But for now, I'm assuming P is the father of B and R. P is the father of B and R. Now read the next point. Q is the only sister-in-law of H. Now, we also know that H is male, by the way. How do I know H is male? Because H is shorter than his brother and father. H is shorter than his brother and father. So H is male. Q is the only sister-in-law of H. So my confusion about P also is resolved now. Are you able to follow? We know that Q and H have got this relationship of sister-in-law and brother-in-law, which means H's brother's wife is Q. Q is the only sister-in-law of H. And there are only two married couples in the family, we know. One married couple is already come here. The second married couple has to come in this generation, because only when he is married, he will have the offspring, right? B and R. Now, is that P the son? Yes. Because only then what I can do is I can connect P to Q. I can say Q is his wife and P's brother is H. So now you see everything falls in place. H brother's sister, brother's wife. Brother's wife is your sister-in-law. So Q is the sister-in-law of H. Q is the only sister-in-law of H. J has two sons. B and R's granddaughter are granddaughters of G, whose son is P. You know, everything falls in place. You see, with regards to blood relations, it's done. B and R are granddaughters of G. Granddaughters of G, done. Who's the father of P? Done. J has only two sons, done. Who are the two sons? P and H. Q is the only sister-in-law of H. Yes, Q is the only sister-in-law of H. All this is about height, so let's not go there immediately. H is shorter than his brother and father. Now, what does it mean? H should have a brother and H should have a father. Yes, H has a brother, H has a father. There are two married couples in the family. Yes, two married couples in the family. Done. R is not taller than grandmother. R also has a grandmother. So now I can conclude that since there is only one married couple in the second generation, B and R have to be siblings. See, don't go by the amount of time that we have taken to come to this. You will not be spending so much time in the exam. This is because I'm explaining it to you. It's taken so much of time. When you do it yourself, you'll arrive to this much faster, right? It's all about connecting those dots. Yeah. So the arrangement is done. Let's now try to fix the order. We know that there are 7 persons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 persons, yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have to be arranged in this order. Which order? Ascending order, let's say. Shortest to tallest person. Now, what are the points? B is not taller than R. Fine. Q is shorter than 3 persons. I think I'll take this part first. Q is shorter than 3 persons. Q is shorter than 3 persons is what? Q is shorter than 3 persons. If Q is shorter than 3 persons, this is the tallest person, second tallest person, third tallest person. Q has to come here. You see, Q is shorter than 3 persons. 1, 2, 3. Yes or no? Q is shorter than 3 persons. 1, 2, and 3. These are the 3 persons. This is the tallest person, remember. He is the shortest person. Q is shorter than how many of them? 3 of them. All these 3 are taller than Q. But taller than her daughters. Her daughters. Q is taller than her daughters. Who are the daughters of Q? B and R. She is taller than her daughters. Which means B and R will fall on this side of the arrangement. She is taller than her daughters. By the way, one statement here said, no male is shorter than females. No male is shorter than females. Who are the males here? G is a male, P is a male, H is a male. All these 3 males should be taller than the females. So meaning the first 3 positions, I mean in terms of height there, the 3 tallest persons should be G, P, H. Because no male is shorter than females, which means all the males are taller than all the females. So G, P and H have to come in these 3 positions. G, P, H. If G, P, H come here, then B, R, J will come here. You're able to follow. Q is in the centermost position. G, P, H come this side, B, R, J come this side. Now within G, P, H, what is the order? Within B, R, J, what is the order? How do we decide that? H is shorter than his brother and his father. H is shorter than brother and father. See, H and P are the sons of G. H is shorter than both brother and father, so H has to come here. So he'll be shorter than his brother and father. Then we also know that the one who's oldest in the family is the tallest. Who's the oldest in the family? G. G is the oldest in the family. Now you can also say J can be oldest, but we know that females are not tallest. Males are tallest, right? So it has to be G. G is the tallest, so G definitely has to come here. So G comes here. H is shorter than his brother and father, so the brother and father will come in this position. So H is shorter than brother and father. So this is done. Now within B, R, J, what do you do? B is not taller than R. B is not taller than R, which means B is shorter than R. R is not taller than her grandmother. So see, B is not taller than R means B is less than R. And R is not taller than grandmother, which means R is less than his grandmother. Who's the grandmother? J. B is not taller than R, so B is less than R. R is not taller than grandmother, meaning R is less than J. Fix this. B, R, J in that order. Done. This is the arrangement. B is shorter than R, R is shorter than J, J is shorter than Q, Q is shorter than H, H is shorter than P, P is shorter than G. Alright, so that's how you do this combination of blood relation and the order of their heights. Please do not go by the length of explanation or the amount of time that we have spent here. I am explaining it to you. I am explaining it to you in detail, right? As much detail as I can. So it's obviously going to take longer. But when you do it yourself in the exam, it's a 2-minute game in my view. It wouldn't take much time. Let's quickly look at the questions. I think we also have questions attached with this. So here are the questions. Let's look at this. How is R related to H? How is R related to H? R related to H. R is the niece of H, right? H is brother's daughter. Your brother's daughter is your niece. So how is R related to H? Niece. R is a niece of H. How many persons are taller than J? How many persons are taller than J? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 persons are taller than J. 4 persons are taller than J? None of these. Right? Who among the following is mother of H? Who is the mother of H? Mother of H is J. Mother of H is J. Who among the following is shortest? Who is shortest? B is shortest. B is shortest. How is J related to G? How is J related to G? J is the wife of G. Yes or no? How is J related to G? J is the wife of G. These are the answers. You see, answering 5 questions would take about 10 seconds. Read the question, look at the diagram, mark the answer. I mean, overall it will take 10 to 15 seconds, provided you have done the solution properly, right? You have done the solution correctly. So that's about the second puzzle. I hope all of you have understood this. We can now move to the next question. Yeah, all right. Let's move to the next question. I am presenting the next one to you. This again is a puzzle, a different type of puzzle. This is basically an assignment problem, right? A kind of assignment problem. Give it a try. Remember, sometimes there are questions or puzzles where you will not be able to do much about it. Only 2-3 parameters can be fixed. The rest of it can be done based on the clues given in the questions, right? And this is one such type. I'm sure when you read the clues and start doing it, you'll figure it out. So I'll present this to you, give it a shot, and then we will look at it together. Here we go. The question is on your screens here. You have about 3-4 minutes for this. I wish I could show the questions as well along with this data, but not possible. If you had taken the all India mock exams, you would know how to deal with it. So 3 to 4 minutes, clock is ticking. Quick. All right, I think we should start solving this now. I want you guys to quickly confirm on that. So let's go ahead. Here we go. So here's the question. Sportsmanship Awards were given to the persons participating in any of the games: hockey, cricket, football, basketball, and baseball. For the current years, the awards were received by 5 persons: Matthew, Vinny, Charan, Sohan, and Shravan. These 5 persons were not necessarily from different sports, and none of them plays more than one sport. It is also known that 1, 2, 3, 4 clues have been given to us. So what's the context? What do you understand from this, right? He's talking about sportsmanship awards which are given to persons participating in any of the games: hockey, cricket, football, basketball, and baseball. So there's some award distribution and it is for the following sports. 5 sports, right? Hockey, cricket, football, basketball, and baseball. For the current year, the awards were received by 5 persons. 5 persons are given awards: Matthew, Vinny, Charan, Sohan, and Shravan. These 5 persons were not necessarily from different sports. It says 5 persons are not necessarily from different sports. It could be that 2 persons are playing the same sport. Yeah? But then immediately it says none of them plays more than one sport. Is it not contradicting? These 5 persons are not necessarily from different sports, and none of them plays more than one sport. None of them plays more than one sport. So 5 people and 5 sports. Obviously, if none of them plays more than one sport, each sport will have 1 person. Yeah. So what is it trying to say? Hockey, cricket, football, basketball, and baseball are the games. Awards were given to 5 persons: Matthew, Vinny, Charan, Sohan, Shravan. These 5 persons are not necessarily from different sports. They were not necessarily from different sports. So could be that. Yeah. So I think, if you see, both of them may sound contradicting, but here it's not saying that the 5 persons were not from different sports. He said not necessarily from different sports. It could be that. It's a possibility, right? Remember, it could be that Matthew and Vinny play both basketball, or Charan and Shravan both play cricket. It is possible. But then he says none of them plays more than one sport. None of them plays more than one sport. None of them plays more than one sport would mean 1 person per sport. It is fixed. So now we can conclude that there are 5 sports: hockey, cricket, football, basketball, baseball, and there are 5 persons. We have to find out which person plays which sport. It is also known that the following things: at least one of the 5 persons received the award for football, and so on. Yeah. So let me give it a try. Yeah. I think I'll list down the sports here. The sports are hockey, cricket, football, basketball, and baseball. These are the 5 sports. We have to find out which person plays which sport. Yes or no? Yeah. And the persons are Matthew, Vinny, Charan, Sohan, Shravan. So what do we know? At least one of the 5 persons received the award for football. It's obvious. At least one of the 5 persons received the award for football. So one of them received the award for football. I think there's something not very clear here. Actually, there are 5 sports and then there are 5 persons. Then he says none of them plays more than one sport. They don't play more than one sport. So it could be that nobody plays a particular sport. Yeah. It could be that, nobody's playing hockey. 2 persons are playing cricket. 1 person each is playing basketball, football, and baseball. So then both the conditions are satisfied. Yeah, that is possible. Understand? He says these 5 persons are not necessarily from different sports. So it doesn't mean that each sport will have 1 person. It doesn't mean that each sport will have 1 person. Right? Hockey can have 2 people, cricket can have 2 people, and so on. That's possible. Or hockey can have 3 people. That's possible according to the first part of the statement here. But then he says, none of them plays more than one sport. Vinny cannot play hockey as well as cricket. But both Vinny and Charan can play cricket. Or, Charan cannot play basketball as well as hockey. But Sohan and Shravan both can play hockey. That is possible. You understand? For one sport, we can have more than one person. Or we can have 0 people as well. But one person cannot play more than one sport. That's the idea. So it is possible that this is 0, 0, 0, 0 and all the 5 play basketball. Baseball. That's possible. None of them play football, all the first 4 sports. All of them play baseball. So what happens? These 5 persons are not necessarily from different sports. Yes, all of them play baseball, so they're not necessarily from different sports. And none of them plays more than one sport. All of them play only baseball. So all of them play only one sport. Yeah, not more than one sport. So that could be possible. Yeah. So it is also known that at least one of the 5 persons received the award for football. At least one of the 5 persons received the award for football. So I can conclude that there is one person playing football. Or greater than one person, greater than or equal to one person. At least one of the persons is there. At least one of the persons receives. 1 second. At least one of the 5 persons received the award for football. At least one would means what? Greater than or equal to 1. At least one of the persons greater than or equal to 1 play football. If he has got the award for football, means he plays football. Yeah. Vinny is the only person who received the award in the sport which he plays. Vinny is the only person who received the award in the sport which he plays. So whichever sport Vinny plays, he is the only one who has won the award in that sport. Nobody else has won the award in that sport. So even if there are 10 persons playing that sport, Vinny is the only one who has got that award. But Vinny plays which sport, we do not know. Matthew does not play basketball or football. Matthew does not play basketball or football. Matthew does not play football. Matthew does not play basketball. But exactly one person plays basketball. Only one person plays basketball. So you understand, we know that at least one person plays football. At least one meaning it can be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. It cannot be 5 because Matthew does not play football, right? So there can be remaining 4 may be playing football. That's possible. Only one person plays basketball and that person is not Matthew. That we know. Vinny plays either cricket or baseball and exactly one person plays cricket. That is also clear. And Vinny plays either cricket or baseball. So there are 2 possibilities. Vinny can either be for cricket or for football. So let me take both the possibilities. Right? Possibility number 1 and possibility number 2. What is possibility number 1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sports. Possibility number also. These are the 5 sports. In possibility 1, I am assuming Vinny plays cricket. In possibility 2, I'll assume he plays baseball. You're able to follow. Vinny plays either cricket or baseball. So I'm considering cricket in one case, baseball in the other case. And exactly one person plays cricket. Only one person can play cricket. Yeah. Matthew cannot come in any of these 2. Matthew cannot come here because Matthew does not play football or basketball. Neither Charan nor Sohan plays football. Right? Neither Charan nor Sohan plays football. Neither Charan nor Sohan plays football. That's the end of all the points given there. Right? So I hope all of you have understood. I repeat, it says the 5 persons not necessarily are from different sports. These 5 persons were not necessarily from different sports. Meaning, all 5 of them could be playing one sport also as well. Only one sport, which is possible. All 5 of them playing hockey, all 5 of them playing cricket is possible. Yeah. And none of them plays more than one sport. It cannot be that same person plays different sports. One person plays only one particular sport. Yeah. And then we have all this data here. So at least one of the 5 persons received an award for football would mean football has at least one person. So greater than or equal to 1. Right? This point is done. First point. What is the second point? Vinny is the only person who received the award in the sport which he plays. So if Vinny plays cricket, he received award in cricket. If Vinny plays baseball, he receives award in baseball. So this point is also done. Matthew does not play basketball or football, but exactly one person plays basketball. So we have already noted this. Matthew does not play basketball or football, but only one person plays basketball. Yeah. Vinny plays either cricket or baseball. We have considered 2 different cases, and exactly one person plays cricket. Only one person plays cricket. Yeah. And the last statement says neither Charan nor Sohan plays football. Which means Charan and Sohan cannot come here. Now, after all this, what do you understand? See, We know that minimum one person should come in football. We are clear that minimum one person has to come in football. Yeah. Matthew cannot play football, Charan cannot play football, Sohan cannot. Look at the names of the persons. Matthew cannot play football, Charan cannot play football, Sohan cannot play, as in does not play. These three guys do not play football. Matthew, Charan, Sohan, three of them do not play football. And Vinny also cannot play football because in both the cases, Vinny plays some other sport. Vinny here plays cricket in case number 1, and in case number 2, Vinny is playing baseball. So can Vinny play football? No. We know that one person cannot play two different games. None of them plays more than one sport. So if Vinny plays cricket, Vinny cannot play football. If Vinny plays baseball, Vinny cannot. So it's also clear that Vinny does not come from football. It could be that even Shravan does not play football. But then we know that minimum one person has to be there in football. Remember, it is possible that 0% plays hockey, 0% plays football, 0% plays basketball, 0% plays baseball. That is possible. But since we know minimum one person has to play football and these four guys do not play football, for whatever reasons, it has to be Shravan who comes here. So one thing is definite. Shravan plays football and he's the only one who plays football. That's it. I think this is all we can conclude from the given data. Nothing else. What is confirmed is Shravan plays football. Otherwise, the other things we know is Vinny may play cricket or may play baseball. We know one person can play basketball, one person would play cricket. Definitely somebody has to come here. It could be that hockey is 0. So if hockey is 0, this will be also greater than or equal to 1, but there is only one person who can come here. So Vinny, Shravan and one person will play basketball. Hockey can be 0, baseball can be 2. Right? In this case also, see, we are not sure about the numbers of hockey and numbers of baseball. It can be 1-1 each. If you look at 5 persons, 3 persons have already been fixed. One definitely for cricket, one definitely for basketball, and one for football. Now both the persons can play hockey, both the persons can play baseball, or one each. One hockey and one baseball. That's the idea. So with this information, let's now try to answer the questions. Right? Nothing more than this can be done here. We cannot fix where Charan, Sohan and these guys may come. Right? Like if you look at case number 1, we know that. Now look, if you look at Matthew, can Matthew come for hockey? Yes, may come. Or baseball. Matthew can play only these 2 games, according to case number 1. Because Matthew cannot play basketball. According to case number 2, Matthew can play hockey, Matthew can play cricket. But Matthew cannot play basketball. So we also know that Matthew, according to case 1, Matthew plays either hockey or baseball. According to case number 2, Matthew plays either hockey or Matthew plays cricket. Matthew does not play basketball. That is clear. So let's move on. Let's look at the questions. First question. Which among the following can definitely be concluded? Which among the following can be definitely concluded? See, one definite conclusion that we have is Shravan plays football. Is it definite that Vinny plays cricket? No. Vinny may play cricket or may play baseball. Is there anything else that is definite? No. Shravan plays football is definite. So I think that should be the answer. Matthew plays baseball. Is it definite? No. Vinny plays basketball. Is it definite? No. Shravan plays football. Option 3 should be the answer. Yes or no? Vinny may or may not play basketball. In fact, Vinny does not play basketball. Vinny will play cricket or baseball. So all these are wrong. Matthew plays baseball, we don't know. Sohan plays hockey, we don't know. What we definitely know is Shravan plays football. So 3 is correct. Now, go to the next question. If Vinny is a cricketer, which of the following must be false? If Vinny is a cricketer, which of the following must be false? Vinny is a cricketer. See, Vinny is a cricketer means he's referring to case number 1. The moment you say if Vinny is a cricketer, so he's simplified our problem. He says Vinny is a cricketer. If Vinny is a cricketer, so consider case number 1. Case number 1. If Vinny is a cricketer, which of the following must be false? So Vinny is a cricketer meaning what do we know? Hockey, cricket, football, basketball, baseball. It will be Vinny in cricket, Shravan in football. Now, which of the following must be false? Sohan is a baseball player and Charan is a hockey player. See, I think I'll do one thing. I'll just copy that case number 1 here. Hockey, cricket, football, basketball, baseball. Going back to that screen again is becoming difficult. Hockey, cricket, football, basketball, baseball. Vinny is cricketer and what else? We know who's footballer? Shravan. Sorry, who's that guy? Football is Shravan here. Shravan. And we know Matthew cannot come here. What else do we know? These guys do not come here is anyway clear because Shravan is fixed. Yeah. So case number 1. I am considering case number 1 which shows that Vinny is a cricketer. Vinny is a cricketer. Shravan is a footballer. Matthew cannot be there. Now, look at this. Sohan is a baseball player and Charan is a hockey player. Sohan is a baseball player and Charan is a hockey player. Is it possible? See, we also know that all these three sports, cricket, football and basketball, should have one person. There should be one person here, there should be one person here, there should be one person here. Now, how do you answer this question? So this is done. Cricket having one person is done. Football having one person is done. Now look at what it says. Sohan is a baseball player. So Sohan plays baseball. Fine. Charan plays hockey. Charan plays hockey. So if Sohan plays baseball, Charan plays hockey, only Matthew is left. Which means Matthew has to come for basketball. But can Matthew come for basketball? No. Now you may say, what is the necessity that somebody should be playing basketball? It is necessary. One person plays basketball. At least one person plays basketball. Yes or no? I mean, not at least one. Only one person plays basketball. That is given. So one of cricket is fixed, one of football is fixed. Somebody has to play basketball. And that somebody cannot be Matthew. But according to case 1, option 1, he says Sohan is baseball. Sohan plays this baseball, Charan plays hockey. So Matthew will be playing basketball. Yes or no? So can this be true? No, it cannot be true. Sohan playing baseball, Charan playing hockey is false. Which of the following must be false? This must be false. Option 1 itself has to be false, in my view. I hope all of you are able to follow. Option 1 itself should be false. This must be false because if you go by option 1, then Matthew will be playing basketball, which is not allowed. So this is false. Option 2, if you want to verify, just check. Sohan plays basketball, Charan plays hockey. Sohan plays basketball, Charan plays hockey. Fine. If Sohan plays basketball, Charan plays hockey, fine. Matthew can come for baseball or Matthew can go for hockey. We should not violate this condition. Which condition? Matthew playing basketball should not be violated. So this is true. This can be true. So it is ruled out because we are looking for what is false, what must be false. Charan basketball is fine. Matthew baseball is also fine. This can also be true. Sohan is a hockey player. Matthew is a baseball player. True. Matthew should not be a basketball player. Matthew can be a baseball player. And Sohan can be a hockey player. So this also can be true. So second can be true, third can be true, fourth can be true. What cannot be true or what must be false is the first option. That's the answer. Okay. Next question. If Charan plays cricket, which of the following cannot be true? If Charan plays cricket. See, we know that there can be only one guy who will play cricket. And that question says Charan would play cricket. So first option is ruled out. First case is ruled out. Second case has to be considered. Which means Charan plays cricket. Right? Charan plays cricket. Charan plays football. Vinny plays basketball. And we know Vinny plays baseball. And Matthew cannot play basketball. So it's obvious that if Matthew cannot play basketball, then who will come here? I think Sohan will come here. You're able to follow. He says Charan plays cricket. If Charan is playing cricket, Shravan is playing football, and Vinny is playing baseball. One person definitely has to play basketball. Who should that person be? Sohan. Sohan should be the person who is playing basketball because Matthew cannot play basketball. Now, what sport will Matthew play? We don't know. Matthew may play baseball. Matthew may play hockey. Both are possible. Matthew can play baseball or Matthew can play hockey. Yeah. So what is the question? Let's go back. If Charan plays cricket, which of the following cannot be true? Matthew plays baseball. Sohan plays basketball. Matthew plays hockey. Which of the following cannot be true? Matthew playing baseball, can it be true? Yes, it can be true. Matthew playing baseball can be true. So first option is ruled out. Sohan plays basketball. Sohan plays basketball is true. We want to know which cannot be true, right? Cannot be true. So Sohan plays basketball is true. Matthew plays hockey. Can be true. Matthew plays hockey can be true or not? Hold on. What is the first option? Matthew plays baseball. Oh, sorry. Matthew plays. Yeah. If Charan plays cricket, first option was Matthew plays baseball. Which of the following cannot be true? Matthew plays baseball cannot be true? Yeah, Matthew plays baseball cannot be true. I'll tell you why Matthew plays baseball cannot be true. Because if you say Matthew plays baseball, then what happens, I'll tell you. We know all 5 of them been given awards. For the current year's award were received by 5 persons. Who are the persons? Matthew, Vinny, Charan, Sohan, Raman. If you say Matthew plays baseball, according to option 1, Matthew will win an award, Vinny also has won an award. But look at this second statement. It says Vinny is the only person who received the award in the sport which he plays. So if both Vinny and Matthew are playing baseball, if both Vinny and Matthew play baseball, then both of them cannot win an award. Only Vinny has to win an award. But the data says Matthew also won an award. So is it not violating the given conditions? Yes. What is violating the given conditions? Matthew playing baseball is violating the given conditions. So what cannot be true? Matthew playing baseball cannot be true. This is the answer. Sohan plays basketball can be true. Matthew playing hockey can be true. Vinny playing baseball can be true. Vinny playing baseball is true. You understand? Matthew plays hockey. Matthew plays hockey can also be true. Matthew can come here. Matthew can play hockey. And second option says Sohan playing baseball. Sohan playing baseball. Sohan playing baseball, huh? Sohan playing basketball. Yeah, Sohan playing basketball can also be true. So if you observe, the option that cannot be true is Matthew playing baseball. Because if Charan plays cricket, I'll conclude this. You see, if Charan plays cricket, then Vinny is playing baseball. If Vinny is playing baseball, only Vinny can win the award for baseball. Matthew cannot win the award. So you cannot say Matthew plays baseball. Because Matthew has also won an award. If both Matthew and Vinny end up playing baseball, only Vinny should get an award. Matthew cannot get the award. I hope you have understood. This is a lot, there's a lot of analysis is required. Where it goes wrong. Yeah. Next. If Vinny received the award for baseball, then which of the following must be true? If Vinny received the award for baseball. So I think it's case number 2 only. Vinny received the award for baseball. But then you remember, if Vinny received this were if conditions. Charan playing cricket and this one. The problem is, going back to that question. So what I'll do is I'll copy hockey, cricket, football. Once again. Hockey, cricket, football, basketball and baseball. Right? It says if Vinny received award for baseball, Vinny is playing baseball. I know Shravan is playing football. We knew Matthew cannot come here. And we know one person each should play these games. So if Vinny receives award for baseball, which of the following must be true? Sohan plays basketball, Charan plays hockey. Sohan plays basketball, Charan plays hockey. If Sohan plays basketball, if Sohan comes here, then Charan should come for hockey. Any other condition there? Yeah. I think first one can be true, right? Or no? If Vinny received the award for baseball, then which of the following must be true? Sohan plays basketball. Charan plays hockey. No, Charan may play cricket also. Yeah, look at this. Which of the following must be true? Which of the following must means what? Definitely true. So he says if Sohan plays basketball, if Sohan comes here, then Charan will play hockey. No, Charan may play cricket also. It is not definite that Charan will play hockey. Charan may play cricket as well. So first one is not definitely true. Second one, if Sohan plays hockey, Matthew plays cricket. If Sohan plays hockey, you see, if Sohan plays hockey, then it is definite that Matthew will play cricket because Matthew cannot play basketball. If Sohan plays hockey, Sohan is fixed here. Can Matthew play basketball? No. Then Matthew has to play cricket. Yes or no? So if Sohan plays hockey, Matthew plays cricket is definitely true. Matthew has to come here because Matthew cannot go for that basketball wala sport. So option 2 is correct. Right? And the last one. Which sport is played by Shravan? This is football. This we know. Shravan plays football. So I think a very interesting puzzle. Not much can be done with a given data. Only two persons or sportsmen can be fixed for two of those sports there. But yeah, questions have been given with if conditions, right? All these are conditional questions. If this guy plays this sport, then what is definitely true? Or if this guy plays this sport, then what is definitely not true? If this guy plays this sport, then what can be false? And things like that. So what you have to do is, you got two different cases. Based on the condition given in the question, try to find out which of the case suits, and then fill up the gaps to see which can be true or which cannot be true. I mean, that's the whole idea, right? Not very complex, but you have to analyze properly. And every question cannot be answered directly from the arrangement, because every option has to be verified. You see, in most of the questions here, we are going with options. Will this option fit or not? If second option fits or not? If third option fits or not? If fourth option fits or not? So this verification will take time. You have to verify every option there. Right? We cannot directly come to, okay, football is the answer, so check which option is what football. That cannot be done. You have to do reverse engineering here, right? So when you do reverse engineering, meaning put option in the gaps and see which fits properly, it takes naturally some more time. So that's where it may become time consuming. Otherwise, there is not much to be done with the given data, right? You have to plug the data with the questions and then find the answers. So I hope all of you have followed this. Let's now move on to some independent questions, and I think then we are good for the day. Okay, so a few 1 mark questions. The first one here on your screen now. Looks like a very simple one, should not take more than a few seconds. Done. All right, this was a simple one. Let's look at it. In a row of students, 4 boys are standing, followed by 3 girls, Paul, Simon, and 6 more boys in that order. If the boy standing at the end of the row, except Paul, Simon, go to the beginning of the row, and 1 girl shifts behind Paul, Simon, what is the number of Paul, Simon from the starting point of the row? It's a very simple one. Let's assume this is the starting point, right? So what is a from the starting point? In a row, boys, 4 students are standing, 4 boys are standing, 4 boys are standing, followed by 3 girls. Then there are 3 girls. Then there is Paul, Simon. Then there are 6 more boys, and this is the end. You understand? This is a row, like this row of students. Starting we have got 4 boys, followed by 3 girls, followed by Paul, Simon, and then 6 boys in that order, right? 4 boys, followed by 3 girls, followed by Paul, Simon, and then 6 more boys. If the boys standing at the end of the row, who are the boys standing at the end of the row? Actually, if you see 6 boys plus Paul, Simon, 7 boys, these are the boys standing at the end of the row. But it says if the boys standing at the end of the row, except Paul, Simon, go to the beginning of the row. So these 6 boys, not Paul, Simon, except Paul, Simon, if these 6 boys go to the beginning of the row here, and 1 girl shifts behind Paul, Simon. Out of these 3 girls, 2 remain here itself, and 1 girl shifts behind Paul Simon. What is the number of Paul Simon from the starting point? So how will the new positioning look like? See, these 6 boys will go in the front. They'll not be here. So we'll have 6 boys, then we'll have 4 boys, then we'll have 2 girls, then we have Paul Simon, and then we have 1 girl. So what happened? Those 6 boys at the end have moved to the front. Out of these 3 girls, 1 girl has come behind. 1 girl shifts behind Paul Simon. What's the number of Paul Simon from the starting point of the row? This is the starting point of the row. This is the end point. So what's the number of Paul Simon? 6 boys plus 4 boys, 10 boys plus 2 girls. There are total 12 students. And he's the 13th guy. What is so complex about it? Paul Simon will be 13th. In fact, if you ask me, we don't have to do all this drama. Instead of doing all this, what's the total number of people in the row? 4 boys plus 3 girls, 7 plus Paul Simon, 8 plus 6 boys, 14. We know that total there are 14 persons in this row. Yes or no? 4 plus 3, 7 plus Paul Simon, 8. 8 plus 6. 8 plus 6, 14. Total 14. Eventually, after all this changing, shifting is done, we know that only 1 girl is behind Paul Simon. Everybody has come to the forward. Right? If the boy standing at the end of the row except Paul Simon, go to the beginning. And 1 girl shifts behind Paul Simon. So, out of total 14 persons, we know that only 1 person is behind Paul Simon, right? So, we don't have to do addition and all this. If 1 girl is behind, Paul will be 13th person. Yes or no? Very simple. Option 2 is the answer. Here's the next question. This is a critical reasoning question. It's a perception based question. See what it says. Statement. The central government agencies, SFAC and I don't know what this is, NAFED, have decided to sell Nashik onion in Delhi. I mean, onions from Nashik in Delhi. Which of the following may be the main reason for the above statement? So, there are some agencies, central government agencies, they have decided to sell Nashik onions in Delhi. So, onions from Nashik have been decided to be sold in Delhi. Which of the following may be the main reason for the above statement? What do you think is the main reason for the above statement? To control the rising prices? Yes. Looks like this can be the main reason for control. I mean, for taking this decision. What will happen? Let's say there is a shortage of onions in Delhi. So if you bring onions from Nashik and sell it in Delhi, the prices will control, right? There's a huge demand in Delhi, but supply is less. So supply has been pumped by getting onions from Nashik. So prices will get controlled, right? Otherwise, the prices will shoot up. So this looks like a probable reason, right? Obvious reason. To ease inflation. Now, this is too much. You know, just by selling onions from Nashik to Delhi, you cannot control inflation. I mean, there are a lot of other things, right? There may be shortage of, let's say, other FMCG goods, right? Or other vegetables and, you know, things like that, the grains and food supplies. So just by selling more onions, your inflation is not going to get controlled. So this cannot be the reason, definitely. So again, you know, what happens when you're answering critical reasoning questions is, you may not be able to, you know, put your finger on the definite answer, but you may be able to put your fingers on definite wrong answers. So this is definitely not the answer. To benefit the traders? No. This cannot be the main reason. You know, this cannot be the main reason. I mean, when you compare 1 with 3, definitely 1 looks better than 3. To curb black marketing. What? This is black marketing. Selling onions from Nashik to Delhi, how do you curb black marketing? I mean, onions are being sold in black market. No, doesn't go well with this. So I think the main reason looks like option 1, to control rising prices. Having said that, let me tell you that these are perception based questions. What I think can be the main reason may be different from what you think is the main reason. Right? But of course, in this case, it's most likely that all of us will have the same idea. We'll kind of zero into option 1 and say, yes, this looks like the main reason. But some of you may argue that no, they're helping the traders there. Or no, they're controlling the inflation there. But I have to have an argument on that. I mean, I can say just by selling onions, they will not be controlling the inflation. They cannot ease inflation. Or they cannot be helping traders. For helping traders, they will not be, government will not take a decision that, okay, let's get onions from some place and sell it in Delhi. I mean, traders will do that if they really want business. That's their lookout. Yeah. So in this case, it looks like, yeah, 1 is clear. All of you must be settled with that. But sometimes you may not be able to decide. You may think it's option A, I may think it's option C, and we may not be able to convince each other. Perception based, right? So it can be tricky. So the best way to answer these would be to find out what cannot be the answers. Instead of directly finding out what the answer is, try to eliminate the wrong answers. It will make your life simpler. Yeah. Let's take one more of this type. Try this. The crime branch unearthed a major fake admission racket in Delhi University and arrested around 100 candidates for forged documents. Which of the following courses of action should be taken against the students having forged documents? Now read it properly. The crime branch has unearthed a major fake admission racket in Delhi University. There's a fake admission racket happening in Delhi University and arrested around 100 candidates for forged documents. 100 students used forged documents to get admissions. So which of the following courses of action should be taken against the students having forged documents? What action should be taken against students having forged documents? Look at it. DU should cancel the admissions of candidates. Well, this could be one of the actions. Yes. I would not say, I will not mark immediately this as the answer, but yeah, looks like one of the actions. You can cancel the admissions of such candidates who has submitted forged documents. Strict action should be taken by the college authorities against such candidates. Oh yes. The course of action should be to take strict action. Strict action against the candidates. Document verification should be done properly. See, document verification should be done properly. It does not go with the actual idea. Course of action should be, what should be the course of action against the students? This can be a future step. That okay, next time onwards, let's do document verification properly. Let's do that properly. But this cannot be the action against these 100 students, right? He's asking us to find out what course of action should be taken, what course of action should be taken against these 100 students who have had forged documents. Yes or no? Can we say document verification should be done properly for these guys? No. So option 3 clearly is ruled out. I'm not sure about 1 and 2, but option 3 is ruled out. Look at option 4. Life-term imprisonment should be awarded to such candidates. Now this again is too much. I mean, for forged documents, well, you can take strict action, but life-term imprisonment should be awarded to such candidates? No. Now, what do you do? Only 1 and 2, means see 1 looks like okay, 2 also looks like okay. So should we say only 1 and 2? Or should we choose one of these? Now here is where the problem comes. I told you, right? Sometimes we may have counter views. I mean, I may think option 1 is correct, you may think option 2 is correct. Some may say no, both 1 and 2 can be done. But if you see, you cannot say 1 and 2 together, because 1 means DU should cancel the admissions of candidates. 2 says strict action should be taken by college authorities against such candidates. If you see, option 1 looks like a subset of option 2. I mean, that strict action could be cancelling the admission. The strict action that we are referring to can be cancelling the admission of such candidates. So I think I would mark option 2. Given all this, I would mark option 2. Both 1 and 2 makes no sense to me. Because 1 is like a part of 2, right? That strict action could be cancelling the admission. Right? So I would go for option 2. Now I'm sure some of you may not agree with it, but that's how it is. Perception. Yeah. Don't worry too much. Find out the definite wrong answers and choose the one that you think is the most appropriate from the ones which are left out, right? My reasoning behind choosing option 2 here was that 1 looks like a part of 2. My strict action could be cancelling their admission, or could be giving life imprisonment, which is not ideal, but yeah. So take a very strict action against these candidates. That we should do. Yeah. All right. So I think we are largely done. Let's do some syllogisms, 1 or 2 syllogisms, touch base those concepts quickly. Yeah. I think I have 2 questions on slog, so let's take those. Here we go. Quick. You have 1 minute. You know the drama that needs to be done here. Draw the basic diagram, then draw the possible diagrams, and check definite conclusions, possible conclusions. So give it a try. Looks like very simple ones because there are 3 statements and only 2 conclusions. Okay, here we go. So I think I would not read all this. I'll just check which of the conclusions logically follows, because this is where the keys, right? Whether the conclusions logically follow or do not follow. If it says do not follow, then be careful about it. Yeah. So you have to find out which conclusions follow the given statements. No information is news. No information is news. Information and news are two different sets. They cannot touch each other. All news are data. All news are data. No data is conclusion. No data is conclusion. Data and conclusion cannot touch each other. You know the conventions, right? If you do not know the conventions, please watch the videos on syllogisms. This is how we draw the basic diagram. Now, my understanding of this diagram, after having drawn this, is I and N cannot touch each other. D and C cannot touch each other. C can touch I. I can touch C. Right? And of course, I can touch D. D can touch I. That is also possible. All N are inside D. I mean, that's the understanding. Now look at the conclusions. Some data are information. Some data are information. Is it? See, he says some data are information. From the basic diagram, no data is information. Data and information do not touch at all. It may be true, but is it definitely true? No. So first one does not follow. Yes or no? Some data are information fails in the basic diagram itself. Does it clear the basic diagram? No. According to basic diagram, data and information are not overlapping. So some data and information is wrong. Second, at least some. We have looked at it at least some million times. You know that at least some and some are both the same. So you can just forget about at least here. Yes or no? At least is redundant there. At least some and some means the same. Some news can be conclusions. Some news can be conclusions. Is it possible? Can be. It's a possibility type. It is a possibility type of conclusion. But is it possible? No. Some news can be conclusions? Never. Why? See, news are always encompassed inside this D. What is D? Data. Yes or no? News is always guarded by data. Conclusions cannot touch data. So until news are inside data, conclusions and news cannot touch each other. And news will always be inside data because all news are data. So can some news be conclusions? No. News and conclusions can never touch each other. So this also is not possible. So neither one, not two follows. Option 4. And quickly, the next one. Here we go. Some topics are answers. Some topics are answers. No question is an answer. No question is an answer. So question and answer are not each other. Some notes are topics. Some notes are topics. This is the basic diagram. Very, very basic. And not that the diagram can be very basic or basic, but the question is very basic, right? And here's the basic diagram for that. So some notes are topics. Some topics are answers. No question is an answer. First, conclusions. All answers are definitely not conclusions. All answers are definitely not questions. All answers are definitely not questions. Yes, all answers are definitely. He very clearly said no question is an answer. No question is an answer means no answer is a question. So all answers are definitely not questions. It's true. Yes or no? I mean, you don't even have to look at the diagram for this. Directly you can infer from the second statement here. What did he say? No question is an answer. If no question is an answer, no answer is a question. So all answers are definitely not questions is correct. All answers can definitely not be questions. Some topics are not questions. Some topics are not questions, also correct. Why? See, some topics will always be answers. Because topics and answers overlap, right? Some topics will always be answers. Some topics. It can be one topic, two topic, whatever. Some topics will be answers. And these topics which are answers cannot be questions because questions and answers do not touch each other. So there will always be some topics which are not questions. Which topics? The topics which overlap with answers. So some topics are not questions is also true. So both conclusion 1 and conclusion 2 follow. Option 5 will be the answer. Very, very simple ones. I mean, I'm sure it's a revision of syllogs. It's kind of touching base with concepts. And it's good to keep in touch, right? So just keep solving more and more questions. Of course, having more complex ones would definitely help. All right, so I think with this, we can close the session here. That's all I have. I'm sure the questions on puzzles were very interesting. And I also hope you guys will continue your practice. Like I've told you, reasoning is one section where it's a game of practice. I mean, the more you practice, the better ideas you get in the exam. I would not say the more you practice, the more you would score. That doesn't hold true for reasoning. But that does not mean that you will not practice. Because if you don't practice, then definitely you will not score more. That is for sure, right? So keep practicing and, get that ability to choose questions wisely. When you look at 3-4 puzzles, you should be able to decide which one is the closest to getting cracked easily. Pick that up and just start working towards it, right? So I think that's how you go about it. And like I've told you, plan. Have a study plan, follow that plan, and just continue preparation. Failing to plan is like planning to fail. So don't let that happen, right? Have a proper plan, your own personal study plan, and just go with it. Okay. On that note, let me close the session here. Thank you once again for joining us. We'll keep meeting through these live sessions, and you guys should keep practicing and do take very good care of yourselves. Bye.